What is going on, fellow game developers? In today's video we're going to be starting a new series on a top-down RPG shooter. Now, I was originally doing a 2D platformer, but since I lost my computer I wasn't able to continue it and I lost all the files, so now we're back to doing something new. And because I've already done part of the platformer, we will come back to the platform at one point. We'll start a whole new series, but I feel because that one's so fresh, we'll start a new top-down game. The first thing we're going to do today is we're going to, well, set up our scene. So let's just name this to game. In here, we're going to create a new character. So I'm just going to go under scenes. I'm going to create a new, out of scene, sorry. I'm going to create a new folder. And I'm going to call this sprites. I'm going to right click and I'm going to create a new sprite off a, what do we do? Do we do a circle? I guess for a top-down shooter you could do a circle, but how about we go weird? Let's go diamond. Diamond or a triangle, hexagon, polygon. Yeah, let's go hexagon. I kind of want to do the hexagon. There we go. So let's drop this in here. There we go. So that's our character. Let's reset the transform so it's at 0, 0, and let's give it a tint. What color should we make it? It doesn't really matter because we're going to be adding sprites later on, but for this one, I want to get something in. Let's just make it a, let's make it a green, you know? Let's make it this sort of green there. Actually, no, because we're going to have a, we'll make it a purpley color. Purpley pink. Or maybe a reddy pink. That will do, that will do. Let's not mess around with that too much. So let's rename this to player. We're also going to go up to the tag and just select player. Cool. So we've got our little player. We need to add a couple of components. So let's add a rigid body 2D. Rigid body 2D is going to make this character full. We also need a, we're going to add a circle collider to this. We could add a square collider and we'll probably need to change the collider once we update the sprite. But for now, we're just going to use a circle collider. And we don't need gravity because if we have gravity, we're going to fall straight down. So if we hit play, this is probably going to fall straight to its death. Yes, and you know, RPGs, they don't actually have gravity. So let's get rid of that. That's gone. We also need to go constraints and we need to freeze the said axis so he's not spinning around because we don't want him to spin. It's not a direct top, it's going to be like a 45-degree angle once we get our sprites in, and we just want him to face left and right, move up and down like that. Just how, you know how it is, just so small ones. And we don't want the character spinning around because that'll just get out of control. So that's cool, we've got that. So let's create a player movement script. So on our component, let's just say player movement. And we're going to create a new C# script. We're just going to click create and add. Let's come out here and let's create a new folder. I'm going to call this folder scripts. And let's just drag that in there. There we go. So let's open up scripts. And let's open this up. So if we double click to open this up, it should open it up in, let me just move this on screen. So I'm just going to quickly go to general, not general, it's external tools, and check it's using Visual Studio Code. You can use any one you want, any editor you want. I'm going to use Visual Studio Code for this one. So let's just close that and double click this to open it up in Visual Studio Code. Install, it's asking me to install the C# one, and we will do that. There we go. So that's now added in. Okay, let's just try something. I just want to say, let's say, there we go. I just wanted to check that it was going to auto complete some things. Now people keep asking me how does it auto complete? Why is it auto completing for you? Now this is actually Unity doing that. You need to open up your files from inside Unity. If you double click it from inside Unity and open it up, and basically it just means we can auto-complete stuff and it does it automatically. You don't need to install extensions or anything like that. It's already set up. Okay, so inside of our script, we're just going to remove the comment and we'll create a couple of public variables. The first one is going to be a public float called move speed. The second one is going to be a public rigid body to, oh, not capital B, to D. It's going to be called RB. Now we could in start basically go find these, but we're going to add them outside of this. So there we go. Let's also, I like my things being up on one line. Let's remove the comment. We don't need it. Cool. So we've got our rigid body. Let's head back over to Unity. Click on our player, and then underneath, let's just drop these down. Underneath our circle collider script, we have our player movement script. Now as you can see, we've got a movement speed. Let's change that to about 5 potentially, and then we've got RB. Let's drag in, this is going to be our rigid body 2D. As you can see, that's added in and now that works. Let's hit save. Let's go back to our script in here and let's start working on our actual movement. So now inside of update, well, we can actually create a new function for this. Let's create a void input. We don't want to call it just input. Let's just say movement input. And now in here, let's just close that. We can give it a variable. So we want a float called movement x, and we're going to set that equal to input dot get axis raw, and that is going to be horizontal. We're then going to get a float of my, which stands for movement y, which will be x input dot get axis raw vertical. Now this is just getting our input. Now these are bound, horizontal by default is bound to W and S. Horizontal. Vertical is bound to W, S and up and down arrow. And the horizontal is bound to A and D and the left and right arrow for negative and positive values. So that's where we're getting that. Then we're going to create a new vector 2. So we're going to say vector 2 and we're going to call this move. Well, actually saying that we need to do this outside of here. We need to create a public, or not a public, we could just create a vector 2 and call this movement. Now inside of our movement input, we're going to say movement is equal to a new vector 2, and we're going to pass mx, my, and then we're going to do dot normalized. I believe that's it. It's either normalized for a Z or an S. I'm pretty sure it's a Z. And then in our update, we just want to call movement input. Now this is just going to set up our movement. It's just going to get our movement ready for our fixed update. Because we don't want to make our movement or any physics-based movements inside of update. We're going to do that inside of fixed update here. So I just want to type in here, RB dot velocity is going to be equal to our movement. Hit save, and there you go. That should now be set. So if we go back into our world here and we hit play, as you can see, we can move extremely slowly. But we need to do one more thing. Back in here, where we've got our movement, we actually need to times this by move speed. So if we go back and we hit play, hit play again, there you go. Now you can see we're getting the movement. As you can see, we move the same speed going left, right, up and down and diagonally. Now, just as an example, if we remove the normalized and we hit save and we go back and we hit play, you will notice that when we go left and right, we move a lot faster than what we do from just going. So when we go diagonally, we move a lot faster from what we do going up and down. Now, the reason being is because if you think about it, you're combining going up and left at the same time, meaning we move at a much faster speed. Now, all dot normalized does is makes it so the max value this can return is 1. So on the X and Y, if they're both combined together, then it's going to give us a like 0.75 for the X and Y if they're both equal, if they're both set to 1. So it's just going to give us a perfect set score of 1 to be able to work. Anyway, guys, so yeah, that's all we're going to be doing for this tutorial. It's just a simple top-down movement script and getting set up. In the next video, we're going to be adding in sprite sheets. So we're going to draw up a new tile set, a new sprite, and we're also going to add in some sprites to use as our character, so we actually have a proper character running around. And we'll also, if we have time in that video, we'll also add in the animations for the player moving as well, so he's not just, well, you know, just standing there. But yeah, that is it for this video, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave them in the comments section below and I'll try and get to them as quick as I can. And finally, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. Now, thanks everyone for watching this video and peace out.